Hello, everyone. Welcome to SureFire Live. We have another night of exciting, newest technology. What's new? What's happening? So, thank you guys for joining me tonight. We have Chad Murray on tonight. He has been working feverishly at a new program. It's really cool. It's kind of I haven't seen anything like it in our industry. It's there's a lot of programs coming out. We have newest programs coming out on this show all the time. Chad's found a niche that that he is filling with some of his technology, and so all this stuff is super exciting for our industry. I love people that are out trying to make things better. There's a spot in my heart for people that are trying, will risk their own money, risk their time to see if they can make something that the market wants. And sometimes the market rewards you and sometimes it doesn't. And that's, the entrepreneurial spirit. We're willing to risk that and chance it for $0 or who knows what, And so that's exciting. Got our first comment of the night. We got Jackson Long again. I saw this before and it's like somebody else is making sure Jackson Long is on. So it's all good. Yo, party people. Hey, Jack, how are you, buddy? Good to see you. So yeah, we again, please comment. That's the best part of the show, I think, because I do a podcast too, and it's usually just me talking. But in this case, we can talk to you, and it's very interactive. And so Chad and I do a lot of things together, and we do he started Chimney World and I became part of that. And then also he's got several other businesses and we talk. He's part of our SureFire Accelerator program and a big part of that. So it'd be great to have him. I did want to just talk about one thing real quick on SureFire. I have a program like right now. A lot of people are calling me about my program called Blue Collar University, where people come to my business. We spend 2 days. It's a one-on-one thing. I show you how I do everything on day one. On day two, we take all that information and we put it together with me and some of my team and you and your team. And we go through step by step kind of how to implement it, possibly draw out an org chart, what it looks like from 1 to 5 years, how you do these things, and take all that information. It's called Blue Collar University. I've done it for probably 100 chimney companies, and it's fascinating. It's fun. It's one of my favorite things to do. A couple of years ago, I put it all on video. I made it on video, but I kind of sat on it for a minute through some of the COVID stuff. But I have it on SureFire. It's a purchasable product, and then and so I put the links of it here in the comments if you want to look at the comments, but also like here is the link. It's also in the comment if you want to copy it and paste it. And it's a purchasable. It's $3.99 for. I spent several days actually recording on high level cameras on it's really my sections of Blue Collar University, and they're all in modules that you can kind of break down from everything we do from leadership to marketing to, positioning, how we build the business. And so let me know. That's a link to it. And if you're already on SureFire, or you can actually buy it not in SureFire. You don't have to have a subscription. It's a one-off course that you can purchase. So anyway, a little self-promotion there. So with that, if anybody has any questions, you can ask it about it. Here we have another. Good to see you in Puerto Rico. Appreciate your insight as always. Thank you so much. And I wish I could see who this is, but I'm always happy to help. And I think a lot of the people there were happy to help and lend their insight. Some of us older guys can't wait to hand it off and see what the next generation does. And sometimes people like worry, like if they're going to pass me up or pass who, man, again, I've said it a bunch. We're not in a race with each other. And if somebody has a better thing, I might be in the lead for a while, and then somebody comes and passes me and I learn from them. Like Anthony Valerio is a great example of that. He sat in my classes for years. Like I remember him sitting in the classes for years and really never said much, just had his head down. He really didn't talk. He just made a ton of notes. And he went back and he put it all together. And man, he is flying. He's just an inspiration. And now I've called him. I'm like, how did you do this again? What'd you do here? And we all try to help each other. And that's really what this is about. And my guest, Chad, has that same heart. He will give you everything he's got. He's no secrets, no He's always there to help. If you want to pay him to be a coach, he's a great coach. If you want to ask him for advice, he gives you advice. So I'm going to bring him on. And hey, Chad.
Hey, Mark. Thanks for having me on.
Man,
Everybody,
thank you.
it's really unique. You have the two sexiest guys in the industry on one show tonight. Can you believe it?
I know that was a weird thing that she put out there. I wasn't ready to see that, but it's an honor to share the screen with another one of the sexiest guys.
There you go.
Yeah. So hey man, how are you doing? What's going on with you?
Doing very good. It's been a new year, new focus. Had a great third, fourth quarter last year. Just been really working a lot on the new thing I'm going to be showing tonight. I've already showed it out on Chat with Chad and talked about it. I've got a pretty good buzz going on with it right now. It's something that, like you said, it's true. There is no real deliverable out there for the scripting of the process
Right.
of how you do a level 2 and more onto it. So it's something it's like you always say when you go to start a business and you're going to start another business, you want that next business to complement the first business, right?
Yeah.
That's what
Yeah.
this is. This is
Yeah.
I did not build this for everyone out in the market. This was built for my own reasons why when we had all new sales guys sweeps started, pretty much they didn't know what a chimney was January or July 1. We needed to come up with a process to speed them
Right.
along and self teach themselves. And unfortunately, I didn't have this when they did, but I watched the pain of John, Brian, and my COO Terry work their ass off for 3 or 4 months out in the field, in classroom, getting these guys, ready to go. We had the best fall we've ever had profit wise. Wasn't the best revenue. We were just slightly second best year revenue, but it was the best profitable year in those 2 quarters we've ever had, and
That's what it's about.
it's continued into January. So and now that we have the app, they're all on it, and they hated it at first because it was something new and trying to learn how to do it, and then you get it. Now they all love it. I got 7 people in my own company on it right now working it, and they love it. So
It's one of the hardest things is to get everybody to speak Chimney, right? It's its own language. And you've never been in a house trying to speak Chimney, which is a foreign language, and then getting objections to your foreign language because they don't understand what you're talking about. So I think your app just has a neat idea for that. And then another thing that I've noticed is that, and a lot of owners will know this, and technicians may too, but they don't stick around. Like people don't stick around as long as they used to. So the game, if you're trying to build a business, is speed and also like how fast they can train in case they have to train someone else. Not that you ever want to train anybody, but the reality is people move jobs faster. So
right.
how do you build a company and build into people all this time and energy and then they just leave? It's so frustrating. And I think between your app and Alan's app, and they're very different. They have totally different things. You can speed up, and I'll just say SureFire with our training, with those things, it speeds up this whole process. And I mean, if you go the old way, it really took a couple of years to get somebody trained and to speak. And I'm not saying inspections are a different thing, but the process is what we're talking about. I think you've sped it up. I mean, are you seeing that? You see your front line, you coach people.
Oh yeah, it's the deliverable of what to say. You can go work with Alan, you can work with me, you can work with anyone else, And with Alan, the guy you can't even get on the schedule till 2025,
He's so
you know.
busy.
And so and my need was, we turned over the whole crew, and I watched what we did. I watched my own clients that are chimney companies do the same thing. I know of 4 companies, and I know of probably 3 of them that lost key men in October this year, right? And
Killer.
and how and what were they going to do? And they all suffered through, and they were hiring during the buying season, and that's insane, right? How are you going to train somebody at that point to really get the process down? This my app, which we'll show here in a little bit, it takes the deliverable. A lot of sales coaches don't like scripting, but you got to know what to say. You're going to make it your own. It's not The whole app is designed to know the information. I put it to where it's only a 60% pass ratio of what you say. I don't expect you to know it word for word, but there are key words you have to say. Like if you're talking about smoke chamber parging. You got to talk about paralysis. If you don't talk about paralysis, you're missing the why, or the what could happen if you don't do it. And so that's in there. They better talk about it. Otherwise, they're not going to pass to get to the next module to keep going. And you're going to talk about excessive heat. You don't talk about excessive heat and gases that are exiting the flue, that need to leave with a crack-free flue, that's a totally sealed system, whether it be a liner or, a heat shield or, whatever. I mean, they have to have that. So we've got to put them into, like you said, Chimney language to get the point of how to get the deliverable, and it shows process too. And the next thing that I mean, literally, I start the app with literally a phone call. You're calling the guy on the way there, or the client on the way there, and then you're knocking on the door. And every little section that you do is in here for you to learn what to say. And if you have a brand new employee watching this and doing it and then role playing is insane. I mean, you know the days of if you are literally a 2 or 3 truck company, what do you do all day long when you're in the truck with a new guy? You're literally role playing and asking him, why do you buy our chimney cab? What you're literally doing all that while you're doing it. And in this case, they can be on the app doing it. They can go home and do it, and it's also kind of one of those accountability things. Are you going to really see how your trainee's doing?
Yeah.
How good is he doing? Because you're going to see him passing and failing, and it's okay to fail as long as they keep going. And so it is really a need that I like that I did. So let me get cart before the horse here. So I have been just turmoil on what to charge for this, because not that I don't like making money. I'm at a place where I don't have to make a ton of money, but I want to. And if you don't charge for things, people don't use it. They'll buy it. They don't
Oh yeah,
use
if it's free, it doesn't actually have any.
Free never works,
It
right?
doesn't work.
But I've been turmoiled, and I've come up with a bunch of prices. So this is my pricing now. If you've been quoted from me, and I've quoted probably 25, 30 companies right now, I'm doing $500 for the setup onboarding, and then only $50 a person. I was at $1,000. I've dropped my prices in half. I mean, just because I want to get more people on it and to use this. So what's nice about the app, as I show it here in a second, it's all what I've learned, right? And what I've learned in the industry. You, as the manager, get to edit it all you want. Put
So
your own
real
company
quickly
in.
to clarify pricing, I'll put the banner up, and
Yeah.
also I need to know how they get in touch with you. But $500 setup, is that per company or per tech?
Company.
Okay, so the company gets set up for $500, and then it's $50 per person per month that
Correct.
uses it. Okay,
Correct. And then you go to chimneycloser.com, scroll down a little bit, and there's a ton of schedule now with me, and I'll onboard you, and we'll put you in and start rolling.
chimneycloser.com.
Correct.
So, if I was a good host, I would have done this before the show. But I'm an active host, and I'm doing it while
we ended
we're
up talking a lot before, so if we had an agenda, we would have never done it. So
Yeah, we start talking about other stuff anyway.
yeah,
We're just
exactly.
so go to chimneycloser.com.
Yep.
And even if they got pricing before, this is the current pricing. So
Correct. I have no pricing on the website, so I've left that generic like that. So just come on, schedule an appointment with me. I'll onboard you. You'll get your link that you can get to go into it and rock and roll.
Yeah. So a couple comments real quick, and then you want to launch into the demo after this
Sure.
to show people what it is. So Jack Watchman, he says we're first and fourth on sexiest.
What did I say? Third? Thanks, Jack. I think I just said the first, the first or two of the four. But okay.
Yeah. And then we've got hello, a little late from Diane. Hey, Diane, hope you're doing well. There was a lot of talk about Spazzacamini on some of those things, so I'm getting excited for that. So
got my vest in the mail from them. Thanks, Diane. Yeah, I did. I got my vest, my scarf, my patches. I'm all ready to go this year.
You're gonna love it. Chuck Roydhouse asked a question. He says, in your experience, do you find a new guy is easier to train because of no previous prejudices? Interesting. I have my opinion on that. So what do you think, Chad? You've 100%. Seen all kinds.
100%. I like
so you'd rather train a new
guy
to
be as dumb as chimneys can be in the beginning. And so and every time I've hired a sweep, and that's just maybe because I'm in Texas, like I don't have a lot of competitors that are certified that have really been through to where they may have had good training and had something else. So when I get guys, like I've hired a couple guys that were certified out of Oklahoma. and they just literally did not know. I mean, like they were certified, it was still valid, but they couldn't tell you what a parging was. It's like, okay. So I mean,
Yeah.
I like to train them from scratch, you know. And now if I was up in the Northeast or maybe in Tennessee and people were just shifting over companies and had, doing stuff like that where there is some turnover between companies, yeah, I mean, I would consider it. But in our market, no.
For us, I know that Kent, when he looks for people, he does look for experience in chimneys, and we do value that, Chuck. Just to your point, we do want them to be able to speak chimney. Now, we do make them go through our the program and learn our stuff, because some guys don't know well, and most guys when they come work for us, even if they work for somebody else, we're moving a lot faster than whoever they work for, and sometimes that's good and sometimes it's bad, but we do both. I don't know if there's an average. I can tell you this though, like most of my people who've been with me the longest didn't work with anybody before. We were the first time in. And then, but if you need to go faster, you can, again, we didn't have this app that you've got. We didn't have the app that, that's being developed. I mean, literally in this last year, our whole industry has sped up tremendously if you take advantage of what's out there. So, Chuck, I might hold my reservation back to see what Chad's app can do to a brand new guy. Honestly, I mean, your app is addressing this thing, and Chuck says this: agree tabula rasa. So I'm not sure what that means. Do you know what tabula rasa means? So Chuck, you're above us, man. Your IQ is showing that big brain popped out there, and you lost us. So help us know what you're saying. And then Jack says, how long on average do you think a new technician will need the app?
Depends on, their speed and what they're going to do. So they're going to have to do a lot on their own, right? This is a self-training app. I mean, and I will tell you this, the question would be back to you, Jack. How long does it take you to train someone now? I guarantee you that I would think it's going to cut it in half. So,
Yeah.
or maybe
And
better.
we used to say, I mean, really in our world, it's a year, but that's all the stuff, the inspections, the process, what you do on SureFire, what you do, and then you're ready in about a year. Some people are faster, some people are slower. We used to try to say 90 days. And I think everybody has their own training and their own level of readiness that they feel comfortable putting a tech out. The people literally have no training. They put them right out there. Some people it's 30 days. Some people they can't get out of the van and they're a helper forever.
Right. We're 2 months, but
2 months.
we're on. They have to, as soon as they're done with the inspection and they've written it up, they have to call a manager that's got to review it. And then for the first week, our manager sells it to them so they hear it again, and then they walk in there and do it. Then after a week of the manager selling what they presented, and they're also checking to make sure that there's nothing missed and it's all written up correctly. After 1 week of that, then they have to sell it to us for a week or two, and then we stop the selling thing because they got it. But we still have guys on now looking at every appointment before it gets presented, and because they've
I
only been
like
doing it
that
for 6
idea.
months.
Selling it back to the manager. We don't do that. I like that idea a lot.
Yeah.
So then Mr. Brain over here, Chuck Roadhouse said it means Latin for clean slate. Thank you, Chuck. Thank you for educating us and bringing us up another notch, as Chuck always does. Well, man, let's do you want to pull that
Yep.
up and start
Let's
to
go.
show the demo?
Here we
And
go.
again, great questions, guys. Keep them coming. I'll ask him as he shows these this thing. And
All right, do you see it?
yeah, let's bring it up here. Okay, let me see if I can make it bigger. Can I make that bigger on
I
the
don't think
screen?
so, because I think that's how it is. Screen sharing my phone. And so,
I think that's about as big as I can make it.
yep.
Okay.
Okay, so first log in. This is what you get, and so this is what we call the learning path. So at first, when you first get an account, I want you to go into role play and play. And the first role play, it's just giving you the business. It's just not going to buy no matter what, but it's going to go through every rebuttal. It's the end of the sale. So the role play is at the end of the sale. You've offered the price, and then it's just rebuttal after rebuttal after rebuttal, that it's going to sit there. And I'll do one for you in a little bit, but this is what we've called, what you want to know first, and this is just the learning path. So this is, you have to start this in order if you were to start somebody from scratch to start here. But let me show you where the power is. So what most people are doing, I'm finding that they're not doing the learning path. They're going right to practice mode. If you notice down here, and so if you see how I have these ones that are purple,
Yep.
that's because I passed them in the practice mode. So you don't have to do them in order. You can just go right over to practice, which I just did. And up here at the top, you got memorize, role play, and history. And then down here is your practice, home, and competition. So you're going to live in practice mode. I mean, you just really are. And so here's what practice mode is you have at the top, memorization, and then the role play, and then history. These are all my role plays that I've done that if you were my manager, you could see. And you could go into them and see I got 100%. And then you can go into the transcript, you can see exactly what I said. And so, and the black is what the AI said, which I'll show you here in a second. Well, let's get to memorization. So here, so as you see, we have folders. So I started with the 1Os, which is the anatomy of an opportunity, sales conversations, the system of rapport, which is just a training where I'm having the AI just talk to you about how I build rapport. And then we get into the exterior masonry flue. This is where you learn about all the components of the outside of a masonry flue. Now you have the interior of everything on the interior. Then we get into the inspection. How do you present an inspection? So this is AI is the customer, and now as you're talking through an inspection, which I'll show you here in a little bit. And then you get to pricing. How do you sell it? One price selling is how I recommend doing it. So this is how you would present all the stuff that was right on the recommendations. And then as we keep going, come on. And then we start with the prefab, price with all that same thing. And now we start getting into the suppliers and stuff. I've already been backed by Saver Systems now. So I have the Saver Systems story, which talks about John Meredith and everything that he's done for the industry. It's for your people to know. So that's just the AI talking to you, giving you training. And then here's the Chimney Saver products and what you do and how you go out and sell them. And I've just started this. So this is a newer part of the app. I've just started with Chimney Saver waterproofing. I haven't gotten into all the other products, which will be keep going down the line. So that's
That's
what we
cool.
have built out so far. What I love is that it is when you're doing one of these, like I'll just do this on the phone. This is the scripting. So I'll go through this really quick. The customer is the AI talking, and then Mrs. Smith, and this is what we want you to say. Great. And then every time you play, no matter where you are in the memorization, the full script is right there for you to look at again. Now I haven't done this in a little bit, so I got to look at. I'm Miss Smith and Chad Murray with Masters calling a 5-star experience for your chimney experience. Okay, so now I'm going to play. I'm going to put the phone up to my speaker, so hopefully you can hear this. It's missing words, as you see. Oh shoot! I'm going to start over. Hold on. That's my wife, guys. So let's start over. Okay. So the reason I want to start over, I'm just going to fail because I want to do something. Because I didn't have my speaker on so you can hear it when we start. Okay, here. Live issues, right? There's
Yeah.
always a live issue. So here you should be able to hear it. I'm going to turn my volume all the way up. All right. So sound is on.
You are about to start driving to your appointment. Mrs. Smith, you dial her number and the phone starts to ring. Ring, ring. Hello.
As you see that all that stuff's gone because I already passed this so many times. So here we go. Hi, my name is Chad Murray with Master Services, here to give you your 5-star experience for your chimney inspection today. I'll be there in about 30 minutes. Oh, I forgot to hit the button. Sorry, you got to hit the button first, guys. So I just failed because I'm talking now. So, hi, Mrs. Smith. I'm Chad Murray with Master Services, here to give you your 5-star experience for your chimney inspection. I'll be there in about 30 minutes. And then I failed because I was talking to the other. But see, if I would have passed, see, and there's what I said. I forgot hit, but it tells you exactly what you said, and you have your keywords that it wants you to say
So
as you
it
do it.
shows the red is wrong and the green is
Right.
right. And so at
Right.
first you weren't even on script, and then it got white and green.
Yeah, so let's play it one more time. Let's watch this real quick.
Start driving to your appointment. Mrs. Smith, you dial her number and the phone starts to ring. Ring, ring. Hello.
I hit the button. Hi, Mrs. Smith. I'm Chad Murray with Master Services here to give you a 5-star experience with your chimney inspection. I'll be there in about 30 minutes. And I got an 83 because I missed a couple words in there. And so 83 passes. So watch when I go to the next time I play. There's going to have no words.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah,
Well, give me one letter to kind of cue you along. Then the next time.
Hi, Mrs. Smith. This is Chad Murray with Master Services calling to give you a 5-star experience on your chimney inspection today. I'll be there in about 30 minutes. And I passed. I'm over 7.
Interesting.
So let me show you one that. So then there you go.
So now you can move on.
Yep, I can move. Well, no, and this is just practice mode, so you can go practice whatever you want.
Gotcha.
So let me show you something that I haven't even started yet. That'll just kind of show you how you would play it. Let me get to. Let's go sales. I've already done a ton of rebuttals. Let's go to somewhere in here. Let's talk about Mortar Crown. It's super easy, right? So I've never done this one. So when you first start, watch. It's going to give me all the words. The mortar crown is the masonry top of the chimney holding to the top together. It completes the masonry top of the chimney with a thick constructed concrete. It seals off the chimney from moisture penetrating down the chimney chase cavity around the flue. The condition of the mortar crown needs to be solid and crack-free. I failed. So there is cadence with this too. So, however, I missed some words and it doesn't, and I failed. So I'd have to do it again. But if I did pass, it would come back to start missing a couple words and keep going. And so that's all the training. So as you keep going, all the parts of the chimney and everything else, and there's parts missing because I'm in the South and we don't deal with thimbles and all that stuff, which need to be added to this stuff. But that's that. Now let's have some fun. Role play. So price, you just hit the price drop button, and now you have custom or blind. Blind is the AI is going to play. Custom is we get to choose what kind of customer, what we're going to do. We'll play the custom card. So we want to do a tiger, bull, lamb, owl, or neutral. Let's go tiger. Now let's work on spouse, price. I think I want to talk about it. Do I have to do all the work? It's been like this for years. Can't afford. Let's play. I'm going to put it around a $500 or 500 passing for the scripting from what's in the training, and let's go. So here you go. Okay, Mr. Smith, I understand that you need to think about it. And it is your chimney data. It is a lot of information. What on here could I help you understand a little bit better?
Fireplace has been working fine for years without any issues, so I don't really see the need to spend money on a chimney job right now.
Well, you know why things happen right now with everything with the fireplace and chimney? With the fireplace and chimney, if you want it in Texas, we had that ice storm. We want to be able to have your fireplace ready to go whenever you do need it. So how does that sound for you? Well, sure, it's your fireplace. You can let me know whenever you like, but how about this? How about I give you a call like maybe next Tuesday night at around 7:00?
Sorry. It's a bit too expensive for me right now. I don't think I can afford it.
Well, we do offer 0% financing for 6 months and up to 12 months as well. And that's something that we could offer you to, we can get you through an approved year in the next 5 minutes.
Offer for financing. Not for now.
Okay, and I get it. So how about that call for Tuesday night that we can call you on?
This guy's rough.
I played it rough. And there you go. I still passed. I got most of the stuff right. If you want to see the transcript, and the AI is still learning as I'm putting it in there, we're adding more stuff. So, I mean, I wasn't completely, I mean, as funny as it, I wasn't completely on my game right there. I haven't been playing like I've been so much writing everything else.
Yeah.
So, but you as a manager, you can go in there, you can schedule these guys and say, listen, I want you to do 3 role plays in the next 24 hours. And then you can go in there as a manager and see their transcript and see what they're saying. And so,
Wow. That
yeah.
guy was rough too. I mean, you were giving him everything, and that AI is like brutal.
He
Like,
swears too. I'm trying to get him to take the swearing out. He says damn a lot. And so
oh, really? That's
yeah, he's like,
funny.
God. He doesn't say God. He goes, damn, that price is expensive and stuff like that. And I'm telling the developer, let's take the damn out a little bit. He likes to swear.
That's funny.
But
So a couple things. Marie Brandy says, "What's up, 1 and 2?" Oh, why don't I? So that's Brandy Biswell. Hey,
yeah,
Brandy.
1 and 4 according to Jack.
Yeah. Oh, 1 and 4. Yeah. And so thank you. So I didn't realize that was her name on here because I couldn't see it until I blew it up and see that it's her and Jeremy. Thank you. But that, Brady, that was funny. That's made our day. We've talked about that for like since that. Unexpected. And you did a fantastic job of hosting that event. So thank you for all that. Jack says that's really cool. He loved the demo. Ferd says, good evening. Hey, Ferd, how are you doing, buddy? And then Chuck Wardhouse says, do I get a cut for you using purple? LOL. Yeah, he owns that color. Well, that's cool. So, man, it looks like it's a lot of, it looks like you did a lot of pre-programming. So, and then, but it's programmable too, correct?
Yeah. So once I put you in here, obviously I wrote it out for master services, and so as I duplicate it in the default mode that everybody gets, we're going to need to go in and we onboard you to move some stuff from masters to whatever your business is and stuff like that. But you can go in there and edit if you don't like the way I'm selling a mortar crown or something else, or you want to add something to it. You absolutely go in there and add it to it. And so you, as the manager, are the only one that can do it. Nobody else can do it. But they give you suggestions, and then you can go in there and do it. And my goal here is, as I brought on Saver Systems, is I want to get in with the fireplace manufacturers. I want to get in with the stove people, and I want. Yeah.
I'm going to go ahead and post what he
Go
just
ahead.
said. That's
Go
funny.
ahead.
I like how it's Texas ready. That's
Yeah.
hilarious.
It is. And so, but I mean, once we start bringing in manufacturers and stuff, I can have the AI just train you where exactly what you want, where it'll speak to you, and then we can put it into script mode where you can start selling it. And so, I mean, I didn't show it like this, but when I talk about, when I talk about the Saver System story, it's just the AI telling you about Saver System story. And so your employees will get that.
Where is it getting the story from? How are you getting it in there?
I researched and typed it all in there.
Oh, you typed it in. Okay.
Yeah, I have to type. Well, I text to type, which is why the first Texas Ready version had a whole bunch of spelling mistakes and some wrong words because I was just trying to get it out for my guys. Then I had a couple companies get on it, and I told them there's going to be mistakes, and I pretty much fixed what I think I've got. All the mistakes are out of there now.
Well, I mean, it's just a work in progress. People let you know when it's a mistake, but let's just say they find a mistake in the system. Can they go ahead and fix any mistake or change your verbiage or what they say is right? Or again, it looks like I can change what the pass rate is if I say, hey, you only have to get 50% right, or you got to get it 90% right. That's all malleable.
And that's correct. And I didn't even go over the contest. So you can have contests between your guys as well. So you literally put out a role play and say, and you put every role play in there, and then it gives a contest and it'll score you. So it takes the scoring out of there, and then you can give guys, whatever you want to give them for a the top dog, or go buy this is what I want to do is go buy a all-star wrestling belt, and then give the belt to the guy who's the top dog every month, and have a little belt.
I've got one of those. I bought one of those from one of those companies. I've got one for our a certain score that we have, but those are super fun.
Yeah.
I love that. So on that, I guess back to if somebody wants this, is there a contract with it? Once they set up $500, it's if you like it, great. If you don't, you can shut it off. Can you give it to other employees in your company and assign somebody else to it? Will it learn over? Or do you have to kind of start a new process?
No, once you get an account, it'll keep learning from all your people, whether you bring them in and out. Now, I'm going to be also adding call center scripting in here and to play with this and have customers. So I'm going to listen to my own calls, start playing calls, and start building out customer calls like literally. I'm going to go transcribe a customer call, and then I'm going to copy and paste it into here for people to learn and to hear and to start understanding how to fix and how to handle the call center as well. I mean, good call center training with live, you're going to have all that is going to be in there as well.
Couple questions. Ferd says definitely a good way to improve. Yeah. And Ferd, works for me in Knoxville, and he's been with the chimney industry a long time, but he's still learning too. He wasn't really on the sales part of it. So, he's watching, he's reading, and I've talked about him several times because he's all in, but he also understands he's got, a way to improve, and he loves these kind of things. And then Jake Ryan, hey, Jake says, what's up, guys? Hey, good to see you, buddy. Hope you're doing well. And then Philip says, can you use it for more of a training on how to explain the evaluation report versus selling the reports that need to be done? Because there are some people that they're kind of against selling. Like they don't believe sales is part of it. It's just more, and you have your guys called chimney educators. And so you're really trying to educate versus sell. But we say selling a lot because at the end of the day, if you don't sell anything, you don't have a business, but you should be and we shouldn't really be selling anything. We're educating, making sure they understand. And then, what's the next step? So to answer this question, can you use it like that?
Yes. And as a matter of fact, I'm going to be I've already got 3 different approaches of how to offer and go through the whole process. That the one of them is absolutely about the educational thing, but like you, I mean, I'm big into the sales part too. If you're not at some point in time, if they're saying no, I mean, I look at it as you're in a boxing ring now, as not in the verbal literal sound, but you in your mind got to be all right. I got to fight for the sale. I just showed up. I did all this work. I know they need it. I mean, in our hearts, I want to get to the client to understand that I'm the right guy for this. This is the stuff that needs to happen when I build a report. So I'll tell you guys a funny story. So this was back in like 2016. I had a guy. He was a furniture salesman first, which is essentially what is a furniture salesman, like a car salesman. They're order takers. They don't really sell. You know,
Right.
that's what they do. So this guy, I liked him at the company parties. He's one of the guys that I always was attracted to go talk to and hang around because he was fun dude. He was a really fun guy to talk to. Out in the field, he was a rock. He was a total rock, and he started to really have some bad sales and stuff. And so I'd already been out of operations for a couple of years, and I decided, seeing his numbers, said I'm going to go out and help this guy for a day. So I had the call center. It was the summertime. Back in the day, we scheduled 8 appointments for us to go out. It was all water leaks and minor repairs, so we weren't pulling cameras out at all. And so we did it, and we got to the first lady. And I remember the whole day almost. I remember the first 2 appointments and the last appointment. So we got to the first appointment, and the lady's had a leak in her chimney. She's had 4 companies out trying to fix it. She's hired every one of them. Still leaks. So I show up. She had the little Jewish thing on the door. Shows that she's a little Jewish retired widow lady, and she was a mouth, man. She loved to talk. We walked in. She's telling me about the fireplace. This is before I ever really. I had it documented a little bit, but I didn't really train on how to really build rapport. So the lady, is telling me about it, and so I said, "Can we sit down? Let's talk about it and sit down on her couch." She had 2 couches in the fireplace, so it was like, so I was looking at each other. She goes, "Would you like a cup of coffee?" Now I had just drank like a pot of coffee already, and I'm like, "Yeah, I'll have a cup of coffee." And Chris looks at me like, "What are you doing?" And I'm like, "Just hey, just watch, man, just watch." And so she comes in there, and I'm sipping it a little bit, and I'm letting her talk, letting her talk. We're talking. We're talking. Somehow it gets brought up. I'm Catholic. She's Jewish. We're just talking, and we're not even talking about the fireplace. Finally, it goes to, well, I got to go outside to actually do some work. Let's go look at your fire. I promise you this. I will fix the fireplace at Chimney, or you don't even have to pay me because I know you've had 4 people that won't pay, but I'll fix it. I promise you. We walk outside, and Chris is like, I'm never going to do that. And I'm like, well, then that's why your sales suck, because you're not building any rapport. So we got up, figured it out, probably like a $3,000 fix it, came back down, sat down again. She's offered cake. I mean, it was just funny, the whole thing. I did decline on the cake, even though I should have had something that looked good. But we're sitting there talking, right? And I barely bring it up. So finally I just go, ma'am, it's $3,000 to fix your chimney. I mean, and I promise you to fix it. You don't have to write the check even for a week afterwards. That's how confident I am I'll fix it. And she goes, when can you do it? I go, we'll be here in about 3 or 4 days, whatever. I remember. So Chris just looked at me like, how the hell did you do that? I'm like, I bet you I talked about the chimney like maybe 20% of the time.
She bought your
She
confidence.
bought me.
She brought your rapport. She felt good. She trusted you. And it really wasn't about any kind of sales. It was you were the guy that could solve the problem, and she had confidence in you. Now, she had confidence in everybody else, but you made her a deal that that's sales right there. That's saying, look, I'm so confident. Hold your check. I got you. And you're right about that.
FYI, I've never done that since. I've never done it before. I've never offered that again.
Whatever works.
Yeah.
Okay, so then Phil, does that answer your question? I think clearly it does. And also, again, that education part is the main thing. Here's the other thing. I want to just say something. I don't know if it's controversial or not, but I know a lot of people that don't like sales, but let's just flip that. Let's just say you've got a guy that does inspections and cleaning all day long and nobody buys anything. I think that guy is dangerous. He's a danger because the reason we all know that 80% of chimneys have a problem, maybe higher. So you're going to write estimates if you do repairs on 80% of the jobs you go in, and that number may be low. But then if nobody buys from that technician, you don't have any work, he's not selling anything, you've got a dangerous guy out there. He's either not communicating, the people don't trust him, they don't like him, they don't believe him. And we're like, oh, don't worry about sales, you just got to educate. But if you don't get it across to them, and we're talking about a fire hazard in their house, you've got a dangerous technician that is not connecting with people. And what's worse, you went out there, they paid you the money to sweep the chimney, and they don't think they need to do anything, or they don't believe they need to do anything, or they do have somebody else do it. Like, trust me on this. You need to know how your sales percentages are going, and there should be an average for your company. And really, sweep techs, there's an average, and Alan can talk about it. It's probably somewhere between 20 and 40% on just a sweep inspection to get that across the panel. So I believe in sales to that point, not selling people stuff, but they better understand what you're talking about.
Let's talk about controversy here real quick. Let's talk. I didn't think that was controversy at all. But I'm going to say something that might be controversial. I think the Mason-Dixie line, there's a difference. There's a different thing of selling below it than there's above it. Above it, they think like during COVID, it was easiest business in the world to run, right? My COVID experience sucked. Our 2020 was terrible. 21 was our record year, in revenue, not in profits, but in revenue. And we did have profits that year. But I mean, right now, as you know, there are chimney sweeps that are starting to slow down, that they hadn't slowed down in 3 or 4 years. And they're starting to understand sales should be part of their game now, because it is not easy like it has been the last 4 years.
Yeah.
And so,
yeah. Got this person said, I wish I could see who it is. Somebody's bought this app. Already gotten a little taste of this app. I'm liking it so far. So far, man, you've got great reviews. Great people are saying stuff. Philip says, yes, we are starting the repair side of the business instead of just evaluate. So it sounds like he's moving from one to another. And that's a great way, man. There's a lot of guys that repair chimneys that don't even know how to inspect them. I mean, I think that's the right path. Understand what it is and then work to fix them. And there's a lot of good stuff out there. Then Jake says, just have the conversation, raise the level of awareness. You're doing a disservice and failing the customer if they choose to do work with anyone else. Oof, I like that. I mean, you got to have that kind of confidence. And Jake and his brother have a heck of a business. They're second generation. Her dad was a great guy. They took it over and they're taking it to another level. And then I said that Dave from Dave Chimney. Yeah, hey, Dave. Oh, yeah. So Dave is using your app, it sounds like.
Yep. Yep.
So good stuff. What else is on? So what's the next step? What else would you like to talk about on this app?
Well, just get it, guys.
Just
Just
kidding.
get it. Well, I mean, the more that we train the AI and the more stuff we get into it, I mean, I'm hoping that as we can start getting some revenue out of it, we can start putting more people into it. I can't do this. I can't make it as good as I want it to be. I want to get an employee on this, and I want them to start getting in with the manufacturers to get to the training aspect of how to learn some of this stuff. And then, because there's one thing, what do you get from a fireplace manufacturer, a stove? They train you on the product. It's all about the numbers of the products, essentially, right? But do they ever show you how to really sell it?
Right.
And that's what I want the app to start
Well,
doing, is get in there and do it.
I've had some people, so like I've bought training from manufacturers. We have manufacturers come in, whoever we're buying, come in and do the selling. And they're really good on the technical part. They're terrible at in-home sales. Those guys have never sold one of their own products ever.
Right.
They might have sat, in a showroom where somebody came in looking for something, but they've never gone out with a chimney sweep to sell their stuff, to see what it's like to flip a guy from having no fireplace to having their fireplace after an inspection. Like when they talk, I'm like, you guys have no idea what you're talking about. So in your case, you know what it's like to be in the living room selling this product. Now, if you got a showroom, great, but most of us in this world don't use the showroom in that way. We're in the home and our iPad is a showroom, or their iPad. But Jack said also, love the price point, no reason not to try it with all new employees. Right. I mean, you have nothing to lose. Also, I always said this about SureFire: if they're not willing to do all the new stuff you put in front of them when they're new, they're going to push back on everything. The other day, and he's not with us anymore, this guy started pushing back on SureFire, and the way we have people do it, it's during work hours. Like, you got a lot of time in the truck, you got a lot of time waiting for the van to get going, you got time to get back. Like, you've got time. I don't pay you extra to do it while you're in training mode. And he didn't want to do it, and he wanted to be paid for any time he spent on it. And I immediately knew this guy wasn't going to work. And sure enough, he had excuses and we had to let him go. But in this, if there's ever a time, like Jack says, to do it, roll this out on the new guy. See how flexible he is. See how willing to do the extra work he is. This is so easy. You can do it anytime. When you're driving around, role play. And then, this is so easy. You can do it while you drive.
Think about it like this. What do salesmen, if they're really a salesman, really trying to get the job sold, they're 24/7 guy, right? They're on it. They're going to be on here learning everything they can. They're going to sponge, and they're going to be practicing on it. And as we keep building out more role model or rebuttals and stuff like that and putting in here, they're going to be a sponge to something like this.
Let me ask you something else. Let's just say there's employees watching, and their company, their business doesn't want to buy it. Can an employee buy it on his own?
Sure, absolutely.
Right.
Yep, I don't care. And so,
yeah. A customer service, anybody could buy this, whether you're an employee or an owner. If you want to help your own sales and follow that up, that's easy. It's easy money.
the deliverable is just, for us guys that been looking at it forever and know all this stuff, you have to look at this in the eyes of someone struggling or someone brand new. This is going to help them, and then you can take and give it to someone who's your rock star. And he doesn't have to go through exactly, everything on there about the parts, but he might, if he does, he might learn something from another company that maybe you guys aren't saying.
Yeah.
When you talk about sharing ideas and sharing stuff, I'm going to see what everybody's saying into their own stuff if they're changing, and I will ask permission. Is this something that I can bring to everybody else? This looks really good, and if they give me permission, I'll roll it out to everybody else.
Right.
And so
I'm going to put your website back up here again, chimneycloser.com. How long have you been working on this?
Well, you remember when I had just contacted them a week before Alan came out with just telling us privately about Rilla.
Okay.
So here I am sitting there going, I hope this isn't anything like it. Because you remember when me and you talked about it, I'm like, I hadn't really looked at Rilla. I was already starting this, And I had talked to Alan about partnering up with me to do some in-person stuff. He goes, I just signed with, doing his 4 things he's doing this year. I'm like, oh shit. So I missed the boat with, working with Alan on this and that, and to kind of go from there. Like, I'm just, and I'm gonna talk Alan into helping me at some point. I don't want to be stealing his thunder, but I've learned from Alan. I mean, I've learned from him. And so I can't unlearn what I've learned.
Yeah. Oh,
and
you mean about like his process? But
yeah, I mean, I have my own process too, so we don't fully go through his. But
we've all shared, we've all learned, we've all like morphed from each other, and we're so small. We have to do that. Like, you can't own anything, and there's no sense in compartmentalizing. There's more sense in collaboration.
Right.
So Nick says, "Hey Nick, good to see you.
Hey Nick,
I've tested it out. The AI isn't perfect, but I was amazed how fast I was getting comfortable talking and saying exactly what I needed to say. It also doesn't really compete against other AI platforms because it's taking a different training route for a dirt cheap price." Hey, that's exactly right. Yeah. Look at that sexy picture of him. Wow. Look at him.
I actually hey Nick, so I'm going to talk about this a little bit too. I'm bringing out a new coaching course. It's an old course I built a couple of years back. I just kind of revamped it, and I'm bringing it this weekend to start selling. I used that picture, Nick, on my funnel. I pulled it off his deal because he's giving me a video testimonial, and I used it as the still picture.
It looks like, yeah. He's the new now. Look out, Brady.
Yeah, I know it. He's gonna kick me out of number 4 for sure. But anyway, so you wanted to ask me to talk about? So yes, so my marketing company has gotten to a level where I'm done with it. I'm still working. I've handed it over to my daughter. I still sell a little bit, because I've got a bunch of chimney companies on it too, and I'm happy with that. And I did that for her. I really. It was a revenue stream. I make a little bit off of it. I wanted her to be stable. We've got it up to some good numbers where she's making a killer. I mean, for 25 years old, I don't know of anyone at 25 making what she's making, and she's doing great. And so I've been getting back into when I started the Chimney Closer here. I started thinking I really love coaching, and then a couple months ago, just out of the blue, I signed three new chimney companies contacted me to start coaching them, and I did it, and I'm telling you, I forgot the love of starting with a new company. I hadn't done it in so long, and the love of starting with a company and getting them to start recognizing and seeing. And I don't coach chimney stuff. I mean, there is a lot of chimney, like the chimney caps and stuff. I'm mainly a business guy, but I have that chimney flair to me. So, but watching these people have these aha moments, like day one, I miss that. It's such a rush. I mean, helping somebody and they get this aha, and you take this stress. Like, I watch people in their first 3 to 5 second month for sure. Like, they're different people than they were when they first met me.
Yeah.
They're completely different. They're not so wound up and tense and ready to cry, literally. If they hadn't. I mean, I've cried many times on the first call with them because they just want to get it. If I see someone cry, I'm crying. So it's that simple. And so but we get going and we start working on it.
You're just like John Meredith and Kevin Russell.
Yeah, well, John, I mean, I don't know. I don't think he cares. He's mentoring me right now, and I cannot tell you the love that man gives off is insane awesome.
Yeah, it is. It's so legit. It's not fake. He's got a deep connection, and he's been a huge part of my life and everything. And we need people like that, and people need you to be that and me to be that. And then, all these guys, I'm crying till the next time. Next meeting.
I think that's Dave.
So, I mean, there's, John always said, that he felt like his role in this business was to develop the culture of honor, to pass that on to the next guy and help those who can. And I think you're doing that. It's a culture of honor to help the guys, and we learn from each other. I wrote down a note, the way you sell it back to your guys. I had never thought of doing that before, but we're all in this together, man. So
yeah.
Well, good stuff, man. Anything else? You guys got a couple minutes. Any other questions for Chad other than crying till the next time you see him, and other than being super sexy Nick guy? Anything else?
Well, I can always talk about something else. When it comes to this industry, I mean, I absolutely love of what is happening. Like you said, how all the new innovation stuff with the AI and everything. What I love about it is the way that everyone's responding. To really, you know, and I'm gonna tweet our horn here a little bit. If you went on Chimney Chatter or the other ones before we started Chimney World, you would get crucified for saying and doing stuff. Remember, it was
Oh, yeah.
like it was just insane. So when we brought it out. I mean, I may have started it, but you and I we built that culture in here in Chimney World. We're not going to let you dig on anyone. It's not going
Nope.
to happen. We're
Nope.
not going to build that in here. We're not going to allow you to do it. I don't know how many people you've kicked off. I've definitely had a few I've had to do.
Sure.
It's just we want you're not going to learn from negativity. I mean, when it
Yeah.
comes, it's not constructive negativity here. Constructive criticism is one thing, negativity and all that, we're not going to put up with it. And
Yeah.
so that's not how we run our business. It's not how we're going to run our platforms. And I think it has responded super well to the industry. And I think it's actually brought people that aren't really typically together, or maybe in the past they've been able to have conversations that
Yeah.
they weren't able to have. And I absolutely think that the industry is evolving to be a better industry every day, even more so than it was just a few years ago.
Yeah. And I mean, there's been tumultuous times. I think a lot of people are over it. Let's just get on through it. And everybody had the reasons. I have my reasons. And it doesn't matter. And it's a lot of it is just our own personal things. And once we, kind of release that from holding on to it, we're all better for it. And I think, and there's some question here, but to our point on Chimney World and our vibe about what we're trying to do, I think there's a lot of people that respond to that well, and they're not afraid to ask questions because they're not going to get beat up. And on the other side, you could see as soon as somebody put a question out there, everybody put those popcorn memes, and here comes the smash down for dumb stuff. And we're not going to put up with that. We're there to help you. So, and when you write something, especially if you see a safety issue or something that's bad, we come up to it from a point of not crucifying you, but saying, hey, we think you should learn from it. Look at this a different way. And again, my big message is let's cheer fireplaces on. Our marketing needs to be how great fireplaces are to use, how you can't wait to use it, how it's the thing that brings a family together, not all this fire hazard, scary stuff. Now we got to do it on our reports because we're not doing our job if we don't do a proper inspection. I don't mean that. I mean in our advertisement, our outbound messaging is, hey, we want to use your fireplace. We want to make sure it's safe. We don't want to scare people. And I see a lot of these stuff is just it's not good for us to grow.
I took your advice on that. I was going to do the ugly chimney or ugly fireplace campaign commercial. So I got Cumberland Creative working for me again. And when we had talked about that, you'd said that in Puerto Rico, like, wait a minute, there's a different way to do this. The new way I'm going to do this now is, do you love your fireplace?
Yeah.
Don't hire a contractor to remodel your fireplace. I
Yeah.
took that right from you. Don't hire a roofer. Don't hire a contractor to remodel your fireplace. Hire us.
We're the fireplace guys. We love fire. We make sure it's And Steve Blackburn back in the day said a line that I've always loved and I've used it in our company, which was, we keep the fire you want from becoming the fire you don't want.
Oh, I like that.
It's a very simple, it's a very simple twist on what it is. And we're the guys who keep that fire you want from getting out and being a problem. Another good question here. What is the biggest pushback you've gotten, and how smoothly has a turnaround gone from companies and other clients? Just curious.
Does he mean on Chimney World?
I'm not sure. Maybe a clarification. P.S. I love the evolution and consistency of evolution of the industry. It's humble and beautiful. Well said. Thank you. So maybe if somebody could clarify that. Are you talking about pushback on his app? Or are you talking about pushback on sales or business? So maybe a clarification. I mean, this is so brand new, Chad. I would think that the people who are adopting it are early adopters, early adapters. They're like, man, show me the new thing. I'm willing to go through. They're on the front side of it. He
It's
says,
the
oh,
AI.
so the AI, push back on AI. I see.
Okay, so I mean, I haven't had any pushback even being new about the AI because there's two ways the AI works here. First off, it's not really AI when I'm doing the training. I'm telling the AI what to say. I'm telling a voice what to say. So that's typed out directly from me. The role playing is the AI learning every time you role play, and more stuff I put in the back end, it learns to be more of a disgruntled client and stuff like that. So I mean, just when we were just playing with there, I saw two new things when we played with it there that I hadn't seen before. And
Oh,
so
really?
yeah, and so it's gonna keep it's listening to what you say. And what I actually did there, which and I haven't been practicing, I tried to do a little bit different than when I have in the train and see what the score would come up. I still got 100%, but I actually did a couple rebuttals I actually went real light on, which weren't the best rebuttals, and I was trying to not get a good score, but I still got a good score. But
So, I've heard some pushback on AI. Most people who are pushing back against AI, they don't really know what they're pushing back against other than just the thought of it learning. And we really don't know what we're dealing with, but you either are going to learn how to use AI or you're not. And there's a speed to it if you want it, that you kind of need to know what we're talking about and what it can do. And oh yeah, so Debbie, thank you. Debbie loves Steve quote. Yeah, that was straight from Steve. I'll never
yep.
forget it, and I will always credit him with it because it was one of the most profound, profound, quick quotes in this industry that really wraps us up. So thank you, Debbie. On the AI pushback, I've heard that you just kind of either need to understand the conversation or you're going to get left behind. And I don't know where this all ends. Nobody does. My brother works in security. He works for he's a partner in PricewaterhouseCoopers, which is a huge firm. He's a colonel in the military, but he went through war college, and he talks about kind of what's out there. And he said, everybody talks about AI being scary, but you got to understand we've been using AI to block against stuff too. There's the AI that stops this, that is thinking ahead and stopping problems too and solving problems. So he said there's two sides of AI, and there's no stopping it. Now this is out of the box. I shouldn't say stopping it. Hopefully there's a control of it and an understanding. But right now, so many tools have come out that are just helpful. And in this case, it's just acting like a customer and you can see what it is. So and then so last one says, love this. So dude, I think you've got a cool thing. I thank you for bringing this. Chimneycloser.com. Chad will walk you through a demo. It looks like it's pretty easy to set up. Give it a shot. See if it works for you. And I love that we're all trying. Not all. A lot of people are trying to move up, and a lot of people are supportive of that. And I'm supportive of anybody trying, a new thing, and I want to promote it and see where it goes. I mean, why not?
Yeah, thanks for having me on for this. I mean, you didn't have to. I mean, we would have just talked about anything like we always do, and would have been a good show. But
No.
thanks for this. I appreciate it.
Well, again, thanks for taking the risk. Thanks for putting yourself out there. Thanks for giving a shot. We all never know how things are going to work, but some things take off and really help people. And I love that. So thank you, Chad. Thanks for coming on tonight. All right. Have a good, see you, buddy.
Thanks.
All right, guys, Chimney Closer. I hope you liked it. It's the first time I've actually seen the whole thing the way Chad showed it. Interesting. And I haven't used it myself yet. I think I showed where we had started some big projects, and I got to get through a couple of things. My team will freaking go crazy if I add one more thing to them right now. But again, I think one of the main things that Chad is addressing here is the fact that people don't stay with you now, hopefully they do, but a lot of these people are moving through and out. So how do you, it's so frustrating to put tons of money and time into somebody and getting them up, getting them certified, getting them through the whole thing, and then for them to just leave right at busy season or leave, and you've spent this money and time, and you don't know where to risk that, right? Like recently, well, I got really burnt on this. I spent $20,000 educating this guy. I got him so many certifications, got a gas certification, chimney certification, let him ride with my guys for a long time. Like really, he went through the whole SureFire thing. I mean, fully put in, paid salaries, getting him up. I love, guy was a superstar, great people. Literally the day he was supposed to run his own van, he quit. And I'm like, I got really jaded from that. But I realized you can be jaded from it, but also how do you address it? Because it was happening more and more. Some people are just not, there's just a grit I feel that's missing, or, you know, with the world, they're always looking for something better, or they're always looking for something else. As soon as the problem starts hitting, they're not like, I'm in it, you know? And so with that, understanding what it is, we can either complain about it or we can do something about it. And I feel like Chad's done something about it. Here's how you get somebody up fast and running. And not to promote my own thing, but I think SureFire falls right into that too. On the technical, you can watch what they do. It's more of watching video, and here it's more like memorization, speaking Chimney. It all ties in. It's all good. All this education is good. Whether you get it in person, you get online, you use it through AI, it all helps us. And let's just make sure our messaging is how awesome fireplaces are. A couple more things. Lastly, Diane says, good night, boys. Thank you, Diane. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. And Jack says, how can I get a guy from July to do sweeps in the winter? Sounds like this could be part of that. How can I get a guy from July to do? Oh, so you've got a few months. This is definitely part of that, Jack. I think we have to help each other speed the process up. One of the reasons Tommy Mello, that a lot of us talked about, sold his A1 garage door for so much is because he had a training program that the private equity firm loved. They're like, he could create and generate known technicians just fast, where they're buying these service companies, and one of the problems is they can't get anybody to do the work. When Tommy Mello had a proven system, you can take one, he called it A1 from day one. He took a guy from the start to here and could generate a guy that could go out and sell garage doors. In what Chad just showed and some of these other programs, you tie all those together. Now you've got a known system to bring a guy from nothing to fast, much faster than ever before. That's valuable. Whether you do something to sell your business or not, that specific thing has so much value in the marketplace and for your business that you don't get so hamstrung on a certain tech leaving because you have faith that you can bring somebody else up to speed. That's very big. A lot of people get stuck. Well, man, I can't lose that guy. I've invested all this money in him and he's been with me all this time and I need him to make X amount of dollars for the company. You get rid of that. And not that you want to get rid of anybody, but that neediness, that fear of loss, and that's very freeing in a business. And I think we've got some pretty cool things on here that Chad and others have developed. So, guys, that's my time. Thank you so much. I hope to see a lot of you at HPBA. That is next week or the week after. And that'll be a fun week. Got a lot of people coming into Nashville. Got a lot of people coming touring the shop. I'll tell you one other thing. I got a group of guys at my shop right now. Their owner called me and said, hey, we want to learn how to do heat shield. We want to learn how to do some things that you guys do. Would you? And I've never met this guy before. And he said, would you mind me sending a couple of my senior techs? I've been in the business a long time, but I need to know how to do this. I was like, sure, no problem. We brought him in and we showed him how we do some of the work. And man, the guy died. The owner of the company died the day before he sent the guys. And it was super sad. He'd been sick for a while, so it wasn't totally unexpected. I didn't know this. And the guys are at my shop, and the guy called me and said, hey, I'm on my way to come see you tomorrow, but I got to tell you, the owner died yesterday. And I said, oh, he was his best friend for like 40 years and super sad. And I said, man, you don't have to come. I said, we can do this another time. I know you guys are going through a lot. I can't, with the business and the turmoil it puts, and, people on this call know that. Well, and I said, man, I'll do whatever, but, you don't have to come. He goes, no, he goes, that's what the owner wanted this for us. He wanted to learn. He knew he was sick, but he was trying to set up the training so we could go on and do better. And man, that was just like heartfelt, hardcore stuff. But it was tough. And they came into the business and they're just blown away by all the stuff we do. And to me, we don't even see it because we do it every day. It's like, I've never seen anything like this. Thank you for bringing us in. We're so inspired. And the guy who died, I don't want to say his name, but I didn't know him in the industry, but he said he would be proud of us doing this. So it was, that's just the good stuff, man. Let's just help each other. That's all it is. And then lastly, it says, yes, just needed for the office side too. So there it is. Yeah, Chad, the request for the CSR. So, all right, guys, thank you so much for joining us tonight. We will talk to you next week. See you.